the energy that people bring to this community, the passion that they have in everything they do, from extracurriculars to in the classroom. It's pretty cool. I worked at the National Football League. I started out in public relations. You were talking to players, you were talking to the commissioner. When you go to a game and you see 60,000 fans like screaming for their home team, it was just really an awesome experience.
There are very few people who don't fit in HBS. I think the strength of HBS is that there is no mold. I'm from Southern California, in a small town called Pico Rivera, California. It's a great town full of 98% Mexicans. I was raised by my two parents who were both immigrants to this country, and so I was the first one to graduate from high school and the first one to go to college. I've never been as intellectually engaged and as excited to be in the classroom ever as I have been here.
The case method, I think, is just one of the most unique elements that Harvard has to offer. You have a group of people that is called a learning team. We meet every morning at 7:30 to kind of go over our case.
And wages are really expensive. I think they were like 9 times India, 3 times China. We were actually getting the company for a price that was less than it would cost us to buy a new press.
You end up kind of testing your ideas, testing your thoughts with your students, and my learning teams become like some of my closest friends. The perspectives they bring and the expertise they bring, I think, has been a huge part of my learning experience here at HBS.
What we're doing now in this last part of the course is really shifting gears dramatically.
Once you've met with your learning team, you go to class. It's a 90-person section, and it's the same 90 people every day.
The first part, if you will, was about making good decisions in situations where your responsibilities are complicated and you're pulled in different directions. It was about deciding.
There's a conversation that kind of battles back and forth as the class as a whole tries to grapple with what questions to ask.
For me, the concern is when you're in this situation, you can always rationalize anything.
And then, at some point, the case is cracked and you kind of see the major takeaways of the case. And it may be that you never actually agree with what the professor says or what, the general class consensus is, but you've kind of figured out what the central issue was.
I didn't really realize HBS was going to be as diverse as it was. The international focus of the school is one of its strengths of HBS, and I see it played out in its student body, in its academics, and in its programs outside of the school itself.
The schools that this group has open currently seem to be outperforming their local public high schools. So what I want to get a sense of is, why do you think that is?
I am the co-president of the Latino student organization known as LASO. It's been a great source of social, academic, and personal support. HBS is a great place where you build networks of people as well as get a great business education. Heard on the Street, the a cappella group, is the all-male group on campus. As music director, I have to set the strategy of what our music machine is going to produce. It's actually an amazing amount of work. Never before have I felt such a time crunch. Class is kind of intense. You have class 5 days a week for about 4 to 6 hours a day, and you have homework that takes you at least as long. And you have social events with your section, you have your best friends, you have your learning team in the morning. So if you put that all in, it's a very busy week, but it's so satisfying because you learn so much.
I love being a married student. It's a great support to have a husband. I think partners play such an important role on campus.
you want me to cut the mozzarella?
Yeah.
We've learned a lot from each other and from our experiences tackling a case. If people ask you what HBS people do in their pastime, it's probably eat. We love to go out into Harvard Square or have dinners at home.
Let me just tie it together.
It gets pretty boisterous at times, just talking about cases or sports. What you realize is that you're establishing friends and business partners for life. The campus has this great blend of traditional Harvard, traditional New England that you realize have been around for hundreds of years, but also a lot of kind of modern thought. It's amazing, on a nice summer day you'll see people like reading cases on the lawns or by the Charles River. With as much energy as HBS has, there are always spots on campus that give you that kind of quiet peace of mind.
I definitely think that a business leader in the future is going to have to be someone that has a world view, understanding of others, and empathy. My ultimate goal was to return to Southern California to help the people of my hometown and the broader Latino community. Most recently, I've been thinking a lot about what's after HBS. How am I going to live my life as a business person in a way that's going to take advantage of all those things that I've learned here? The leaders that I want to be like have an obviously strong understanding of business, because I think it's a great lever to change the world, but not forget where you're from and not forget the broader context outside of the business at hand.
Certainly my long-term goal is I want to own the team eventually, but I suppose I'd settle on being a president someday if I can. I hope to be someone who cares about the world, cares about society, and thinks about it in kind of a global sphere. To have that kind of focus on your development and your goals in life, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.